3 out of 4 businesses fail in the first 5 years, and 90% of those failures are due to poor management. But here to stop the rot are Mad Butcher Peter Leach and his chief executive Michael Morton. With his flair for marketing and promotion, Peter can sell ice to Eskimos, while Mike is the numbers man with a sharp eye for the bottom line. A dream team for business nightmares. Tonight, when the good life goes bad for a family going nuts on the orchard.
You're an accountant. You tell me how you can pay your bills when you're not making money.
A couple in desperate need of superhuman help to save their comic book catastrophe.
Where the rest of the money's gone, I'm quite sure it just gets gobbled up.
And a successful businesswoman trying to make the cut to the next level.
Michael Hill, Eric Watson, the Mad Butcher, all had to work their arse off to get where they've got to. Doesn't come easy.
Tough talking, no excuses. Tonight on A Mad Business. Sounds the perfect lifestyle. 16.5 acres of land, 1,000 macadamia trees, 80 citrus trees, 2 houses, a barn and a husking machine. But sustaining the lifestyle is proving a tough nut to crack for the Pilkington family and its business, Cathedral Cove Macadamias.
We came here 5 years ago, knowing nothing about macadamias.
We just thought that we'd like a change in direction from the city to the country.
It was a change all right. Now they're working harder than ever. Mum Sue is creative director, Hamish is orchard manager, Justin is in charge of sales, and Dad Brian manages the money.
That is the family. We think we've got most things covered.
Except how to turn a buck.
We realised quite early on that there's no money in growing.
Because of all the numbers of people that we have to employ to handpick, the costs are very high.
So that if we were to make this a viable sort of business, we had to add value.
We have extended our product range to include chocolate-coated, honey-coated, butters, and then we've become sole distributors for the macadamia oil.
In fact, Cathedral Cove Macadamias has got a huge range of products, but sadly the added value idea hasn't added up to any profit. We've tried all sorts of ideas.
I've created a mobile juice bar, and we do juices and smoothies at Hahei Beach over the peak summer period, and also serve coffee for all the people coming down from Auckland.
But still no more income, so Dad Brian has to keep topping up the business with his own money.
It's pretty disheartening actually. My father does the financial side of our business. At each fortnightly meeting he will present our financials, and we haven't made any money yet.
It's all negative at the moment, but I'm positive about it changing.
And it has to change. Brian can't keep bailing the company out. So the call's gone out to the business brains and brawn of Mad Butcher Peter Leach and his numbers man Mike Morton. 2 guys with the nuts for good business.
Well, Michael, what a great setting. This is an ideal place to have a Mad Butcher barbecue. And where are we at, Chili?
Cathedral Cove, Peter. This is a macadamia farm.
Beautiful. Macadamia sausages coming up.
I don't think so.
Now, Sue, hello, how are you?
Hi, nice to meet you, Peter.
This is Brian, is it? Brian, nice to meet you.
Pleasantries over, it's straight to work on a spread of the company's fine product.
Here we got macadamia butter.
And it's a bit like peanut butter and things like that, so you can put it on your toast and you can put it in dressings.
This is muesli. I mean, tell us about the muesli, mate.
About the muesli, well, I started making that once I came back from overseas and was living on the farm. My friends and family started trying it. They all gave me great feedback, and now we've packaged it up, and from there we're sort of trying to go commercial with it.
What can I do with those in the kitchen? What can I do with them?
Wonderful things, like you can use it on fish.
You can taste the lemon.
Yep.
And what's this
one? And this one's chili. But not too strong. It's got quite a delicate flavour.
I could see a Mad Butcher sausage coming out on those flavours.
Be happy to help you out with that, Peter.
Well, let's go do a deal, mate.
The Pilkingtons try hard to make money. On top of all the macadamia product, they have homestay accommodation, a portable shop, and Hamish's pet project, the Punga Juice Bar.
The juice cart probably didn't go as well as planned, and perhaps we need to just hold off on any further progress in that area.
Do you believe that the targets you got in there are realistic?
I guess those are a bit fantasy, and they were sort of added in there to make up to to my father's expectations.
Okay, perfect. That's the answer that I wanted. Your core business is the macadamias, but you've derived 2/3 of your income through other type activities.
I guess they were more personal interest activities.
Well, I suggest that you do the personal interest stuff with your own money and not with your dad's. Alrighty, because this is the core business, the macadamias, and that's the business that we need to make work.
Well, that's the type of feedback we were looking for.
Well, that's good, because there's plenty more of it to come when we get down to the nitty-gritty of it.
We'll come back to the macadamia orchard later. But Mike and Peter's next job is up in Northland, New Zealand, and the Kerikeri home of Bev and Bert, who have a fight on their hands saving their comic book subscription business.
Comic-aholic was originally my idea. Must admit that I pulled Bev in there kicking and screaming.
I had my reservations when Bert first discussed it. I couldn't see how it was going to actually make any money as a business.
I don't think she even actually realised that comic books were still for sale, to be quite honest with you.
We rushed into it a little bit because Bert was really excited about finally getting it off the ground.
We've only been going out 18 months. In that time we've started the business, we've built a new house.
It's a business and personal partnership, and that sort of relationship needs very careful management.
Our prenup was written as a 50-50 partnership in a company called B Group Enterprises.
It's quite stressful actually. If you get through getting your prenup sorted, you've done well, I reckon.
The prenup still hasn't been signed, but you know, it's there.
We've invested $60,000 into the business up to now. 24,000 of it was in catalogues. That proved to be not such a good idea because printed matter dates so quickly. We've spent around 16,000 in stock. We just ordered far too much. So we've got dead money sitting on shelves there. We spent $5,000 establishing a website. Where the rest of the money's gone, I'm not quite sure. It just gets gobbled up.
It's a sorry story heading for an unhappy ending, but the good guys aren't finished yet.
I'm stubborn. I'm going to make this work because we have that financial investment in it. I don't like losing money.
My hopes and dreams for this product are really quite simple. I want people to buy my product for a start.
With 60 grand and a new home on the line, Bev and Bert need help, and they need it fast. Time for the dramatic entry of our brave business superheroes.
Well, here we are, Michael. We're in Kerikeri, the home of the brave citrus fruit. Hey, but we're not here for that. We're here to see the comic experts. What's the name of the company?
Comic-aholic.
Yep. We're going to see if we can't give them a bit of help. Well, here we are, Michael, some of the comments. Now, I've got to be honest, until we got your email, I hadn't thought of comics for years. Now, are comics selling, in supermarkets and that these days?
No, there's probably only 2 titles you can buy from bookshops.
When you go into a bookshop, try and find a comic. They're always in the darkest back corner.
That would ring alarm bells to me, say, well, these aren't great sellers. That's why they've got this dark, dingy corner, as you say.
Yeah.
But Bert believes comics should come into the light, and he's got the research to prove it.
Reading improved at the same rate, if not more, for low ability readers by reading the comics than by reading hardcover. And we thought that would entice parents to say, hey, my kid doesn't read. Look, let's get them a comic and let's get them stuck in.
Currently you're marketing to schools?
Absolutely, and what happens is that they use them as a draw card, and that's the whole idea by having the comics in the library.
What was the actual motive with the brochure?
The pupil would take them home, decide which one they want, bring it back to school. We'd send the children their subscriptions and 10% would go back to the school.
Have you any idea how many people go to schools expecting them to sell their product so they can make money?
Yeah.
It's a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Your titles that you have, are you bringing in titles that you know and you understand versus titles that your market would demand and would buy?
We questioned Bert's children when we were going through our
And their
first
ages
ordering.
Between 12 and 15, 12.
And what's your target group? 7
Below
to...
that.
Yeah, so you've asked the wrong demographic.
Holy marketing plan, Batman. After the break, it gets worse. Comic-aholics are spending money in all the wrong places.
Do you need that many?
I would suggest 80% of your business is done in 7 or 8 titles.
And the macadamia nut family continue to bark up the wrong tree.
We told them that they needed to concentrate on what they're good at. That's producing nuts and selling them.
We're going to get tough with them, Michael. Get tough with them. Come out punching.
Down at the Pilkington family's macadamia nut business, Mike and Peter have checked out the entire setup, from nuts to finished product. Mike's put a stop to Dad paying up for the boys' pet projects, and now he's tackling their lack of sales and income.
You've got a scattergun approach with your products and the marketplaces that you're selling to. It needs to stop. But this budget here, even if we hit this number, even if you're on that budget, that can't sustain the business. We need to double that number, and we need to do it through selling our core products. Because Dad's the bank, and Dad's now wants a return on his investment.
So Mike crunched the numbers, and Peter sampled the goods. It's time to wind things up.
I want to thank you for your time today. I think we've done all we can do. What we need to do is go and have a chat now, and I know the ideal place, mate. Follow me! Hey! Hey, hey!
You get your pants on, won't you?
No, cut it out. I think they've got a good product.
And they've sold the product below the margin that they're after. I think they've got a methodology of trying to sell the product no matter what.
I've just got some issues with them trying to do too much.
Yeah, they've got the camper van, they're trying to do farmers markets, they're doing high-class food establishments, they've got the drink caravan that they're doing. Can't spread themselves too thin. They can't do everything. What they need to do is, I think, establish a market that they want to own, go after that market, and be incredibly aggressive at owning that market, not to be chopping and changing from one thing to the next. You can't be all things to all people.
Hey, keep your leg away from me, you dirty sod.
That wasn't my leg.
Oh, he's a dreamer.
Thankfully, it's time to move right along. In Kerikeri, New Zealand, Bevan Bird's comic dream has turned into a nightmare. Mike and Peter have discovered the couple spent 60 grand importing thousands of comics that may not even be relevant to their target market.
If we just go back to the start, you import them yourselves from the US.
Yes.
And there's a 3-month lag between ordering the comics and them coming.
It does make ordering really difficult.
Everything that we have that's older than the month of issue is out of date.
How does a comic go out of date?
They're actually stamped with the month that they come out.
Sure.
Are the stories running in sequence? I mean, do you need to have read January to be able to read February?
Not for a lot of them.
If they're not followed in sequence, then I don't think the date has any relevance to them. You know, I would suggest that we put our reordering a sticker or something on here.
That's lucky because a lot of their stock just isn't moving, and it's been sitting on the storage shelves for quite a few months.
This is where we store all our comics when they come in.
How many titles do you have?
18 titles.
18 titles.
Do you need that many?
No, we probably don't.
I would suggest 80% of your business is done in 7 or 8 titles.
Yes, I was going to say probably 10.
So can I go to a bookshop and buy the comics that you're selling?
Not the extent of titles that we hold.
And when I order comics, do I have to order so many off you on a monthly basis?
We operate on a subscription basis and we send out a new issue once a month.
And price-wise, where you sit compared
Just
to the...
a fraction under what you'll pay at a retail store for them.
I just don't know the future of comics. It's not grabbing me.
They've invested a lot of money. You know, there's a hell of a lot of money gone into this business with what they've spent on doing those flyers and things. You know, there's been some bloody costly mistakes.
Up at the crack of dawn, the Macadamia Nut family is off to the local Coromandel Scallop Festival, hoping to give their business a big push in the right direction and make some serious sales.
Well, at the moment it's all go. We're setting up. We've got basically 3 stalls. The first of them is the nuts and the oils, and then we move on to the cooked scallop products. Then we've got the panga bar with the juices, refreshments as well.
Dad seems to have a pretty clear idea of what the day is about.
With all the various shows that we attend, getting out there and showcasing our product, building the brand is a very, very important part of it.
But it doesn't match up with son Justin's plan for the day.
It's more about sales today, where we can sell direct, we can make a bit of margin.
If it's all about building the macadamia brand, then the scallops aren't going to do it. Sure, they're selling like hotcakes, but no one seems to have picked up on the special crumbed macadamia mix coating the scallops.
No, I'm not sure.
No, not sure.
I imagine there was some sort of chili sauce on them, but they were, it was really good.
Even those who did pick the macadamias didn't remember the company's brand name.
So, to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you.
Or where to buy its products.
Probably not, no. Would have a look at Food Town.
So all up, a lot of hard work, a lot of scallops sold, but not much in it really for Cathedral Cove Macadamias. Its product and its brand were pretty much ignored. Back at Sausage Heaven, Peter and Mike have just received the Nut family's latest attempt to raise the profile of their business.
Oh, look at this, the Cathedral Cove Nuts people. Look what they've got here. Oh, mate, they're on the front page of the Informer.
Circulation 4,000.
Oh, right up in the paper. And oh, look at this, certificates. This will build their business. Oh, this will be great for business.
What do you mean it's good for their business?
Covers the cracks in the walls, Michael.
Well, that's all it's good for. This is just fluffery, mate. We told them that they needed to concentrate on what they're good at. That's producing nuts and selling them. This stuff is not going to do anything for their business.
Mate.
Well, maybe you need to arc up a bit.
Yeah, blowing wind up their own arse, aren't they?
Well, something like that.
I want to get the heads out of their arse as well. We've got to get tough with them, Michael. Get tough with them. Come out punching.
You're on a roll now.
I'm getting fired up.
After the break, the Pilkington family feel the heat from Pete.
Some people didn't know what the coating was, people didn't know where they could buy it, and some of them couldn't even remember the name of the company.
And there's some disturbing new revelations in the comic book caper.
And look at them, they've got them all. And the price.
Cheaper than what they're selling them for.
Why would you want to ride away from them when you can come in just weekly and pick up what you want?
Time to get serious with the Macadamia Nut family before Dad's money runs out. And judging by their recent efforts at the Scallop Festival, they have a lot to learn about marketing.
You guys are in the business of selling nuts, not scallops. Of the overall sales on the day, what percentage of them were nut-related products?
We budgeted about 20 or 30%.
Was it?
It ended up at about 15%, Mike.
Why?
People were more there to buy scallops, being a scallop festival, I think.
So if people are there to buy scallops, why do you guys bother going?
Well, we specifically made this chili kelp and lemon kelp crumb mix for scallops. Basically, we made a hell of a lot of money out of that, and that's what we should probably be focusing on.
I thought you were in this business of selling nuts, but you go to the Scallop Festival, and what you do is you sell a heck of a lot of scallops, but very little nuts.
The real value to us, a lot of it is in the follow-up and the publicity and just getting our brand out.
Oh yes, the brand. The name on everyone's lips.
We sent our own spies down to the Scallop Festival to do a survey for us, and the results were quite amazing. Some people didn't know what the coating was, people didn't know where they could buy it, and some of them couldn't even remember the name of the company.
When asked where they'd buy it from, they suggested maybe the supermarket.
Well, we've got a lot of work to do yet, Mike. We've got a lot of work to do, because that's disappointing.
You missed out some magnificent opportunities. You had huge queues of people wanting to get there. You didn't market to any of those people that were in the queue. You had a captured audience that you didn't maximise the marketing opportunities for.
So, a black mark for sales and marketing. And what about the real cost of all these bright ideas?
The Punga Bar, I asked if we would do a review. Has it been done?
Yep, we've taken out a lot of the pre-bottled drinks, so there's better margins on making and squeezing our own juices, and I'm looking at a net profit of $20,000 over the 3 months of trading.
Have you seen these, Dad?
We talked them through just recently.
As finance manager, Dad, I would expect you to look over these numbers, and you've missed quite a few things, I think. We've got macadamia breakfast muesli. We're selling that. We're selling macadamia home baking. We've got $100 worth of sales a day in it, but we've got no cost associated with any of those two products here.
And the products themselves are a problem. There's far too many of them.
We have been re-evaluating our product range.
How many product lines do you think that you'll get to?
We looked at halving it to start with.
I think it's a magnificent idea, because I've got a page load of them here, and a lot of them haven't got huge sales numbers next door to them.
That's correct.
So, we've got to chop all of those and focus on the ones that are going to go and sell.
We want to see nothing on there that you're not making money on. We used to make too many sausages and we were losing money. I mean, don't think we're perfect. I mean, we've made mistakes, but we've learnt by our mistakes very quickly.
Do you know that your biggest selling item last year that you lost money on? You know that you got 9 products in your product range that you lost money on selling last year?
A lot of it we've done for branding and to get into places.
The real value to you is selling more nuts. All these things that you do, great publicity, I want to see it reflecting in the sales, because if it's not reflecting in the sales, it's a waste of time.
You're an accountant. You tell me how you can pay your bills when you're not making money. You've got to be selling stuff to make money.
I don't have any doubt at the end of the day that we will be making more money than you are.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So is that a fair objective?
That's a good challenge.
Bert and Bev spent 60 grand on their comic subscription business, Comic-aholics, but they've misread the market, and with no sales, they're stuck with boxes of unsold comics. But our super business heroes are on the case. They're checking out the competition.
You go that way, I'll go this way, mate. Well, not hard to find. Look at this. Right in the front of the store, not in a dark, dingy back room. Look at them, they've got them all. And the price, only $5.95.
Yeah, cheaper than what they're selling them for.
Well, why would you want to ride away from them when you can come in just weekly and pick up what you want?
Ay caramba, a supersized blunder. Next stop, an expert in comic retailing, Jeremy Bishop, owner of Gotham Comics.
How many comics would you have here, mate?
Currently, probably in around the 50,000.
Where do you sell the most comics? In your store, or do you have a mail order?
Currently, we sell probably about 90% of our stuff in store.
Okay. How do you go about marketing your comics?
A little bit of advertisement and just being up on the internet, and also getting involved with libraries. We've been selling them graphic novels where you've got 5 or 6 issues reprinted into one book.
Is it a growing market?
Definitely. We've currently supplied libraries from Kaitaia to Invercargill.
Hey Pete, you got any money here? I've got a comic here I wouldn't mind buying.
Here we are, mate. I'll shout you that one, mate. There, mate. $10.
Might need a little bit more. That one's $750.
What? $750 for a bloody comic?
Yep.
You are mad. I could buy 2 season tickets at the Vodafone Warriors for that. Oh, that's bloody ridiculous. Ridiculous.
In a surprising twist, it seems libraries are a big market for comics. An expert opinion is on their side. Wayne Mills is a child literacy specialist at the University of Auckland.
What good do comics do helping kids read?
Well, there's quite a bit of research, Peter, that's showing that using comics will actually help improve children's comprehension by up to 50%. Now, that's got to be a good thing. And we mustn't be precious. Doesn't matter if they're reading Captain Underpants. It doesn't matter if they're reading comics. Comic reading switches kids on to reading.
$1 million question. Do you think there's a room for comics in schools today?
Absolutely. If you haven't got comics in schools, you're missing out on a hugely educational, important resource.
That's a big rap for comics, Michael.
And maybe a way forward for Comic-aholics. Up in Whangarei, Sarah Bertram established her roast-to-go business 2 years ago.
I decided I didn't want to work for anyone else. I wanted to set up my own company, my own business. And it was actually my sister who came up with the idea. She lives in Auckland, and she said something that is popular in Auckland are these roast dinner takeaway shops.
Sarah found a shop, renovated, painted, and then started cooking.
When I first opened, I'd be down here at 9:30 in the morning to start cooking. We'd shut the shop at 9 o'clock at night, take about half an hour to an hour to clean up and to balance the till. And I was doing all those hours, six days a week.
It's been a huge effort, and now Sarah's takeaways are so popular, there's even more work to do.
One of the strengths of the business is that roast dinners are popular, because everyone does love a roast dinner. And over the 2 years, we have been getting busier and busier.
Sarah's running herself ragged, but she's coming back for seconds.
The main thing that I want to talk to Peter and Mike about is looking at opening up a second shop and how to get the systems in place in this shop so that it will still run efficiently, it will run up to a set standard, and that I don't actually have to be here every minute of the day.
In fact, Sarah wants to move out of the kitchen and into the boardroom.
I have been recently looking into setting up a licensing agreement. So it's similar to a franchise, but not as strict as a franchise. So they have a license to use my name, but it'd be their own business.
Now, the Mad Butcher and Michael Morton know a fair bit about eating. and a lot about expanding. In the business sense, of course.
Oh, look at all that pork, mate. Yum, 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 yum.
Let's go in.
This is where most of the selling and everything goes on. Every day we have 3 types of meat. We've got pork, lamb and beef. In the evenings we actually do chicken pieces as well.
Yes.
These are the different size containers. Small, medium and large. We have 3 types of roast vegetable. We do peas and carrots, our own homemade gravy, which is not made with gravy mix.
Is it a secret recipe?
It is, yes. Would you like a taste? I can get a spoon for you if you'd like.
I think we should taste it. Definitely like Grandma used to make. Are you cooking 3 different lots in that oven, or?
We're cooking lamb and beef at the top there.
So the oven's all programmed so it's going to do the same sort of cook time on cycles for the meat?
Yes, it is. And it makes it simple because I've got staff who come in and set up when I'm not here.
Why do you sell all the meals at the same price when you've got beef, lamb and pork, all different prices per kilo?
Well, when I price them, I actually price them at the most expensive meat. But I sell them at the same price, basically to make it easier on customers coming in. It's just for simplicity.
How regularly do you cost out the meals?
Not regularly enough.
Not regularly enough.
As the business has got busier, I don't have as much time as I'd like to actually get in and do the paperwork.
What percentage of your time is done working in the business and not on the business?
Probably 90% at least.
So 90% of the time you're effectively an employee?
Yes, I am. Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, I am.
Very simple. You make money up there.
Yes.
That's labouring.
Coming up, Sarah needs to get real about the temptations of cash before she can expand her business.
Cash can turn honest people into dishonest people.
You can be fair as you like, but if they're going to thieve, they're going to thieve.
The Comic-aholic couple get a good spanking.
There's no question we didn't think you'd done your homework, and when we went out and done our research, we were convinced you never.
And Dad puts a deadline on the macadamia business. His buck stops here.
Our next review date is 31 March, and at that stage we do need to be self-supporting from that point on.
Mike and Peter have their noses in Roaster Go's kitchen. Owner Sarah wants to expand her successful business, but a second store is going to mean more time out of the kitchen for Sarah. And Peter and Mike want to minimise any problems she could face in the future.
How do you control shrinkage or theft in your business? I mean, you're a cash business.
I am a cash business, yes.
Cash can turn honest people into dishonest people.
I mean, I do what I can to try and encourage my staff not to take anything. You know, I'm quite a fair employer.
Let me tell you, you can be fair as you like, but if they're going to thieve, they're going to thieve.
That is actually one thing I was hoping from you guys.
I've had people work for me that I've treated like family, and I've caught them fingers in the till.
I've got, I think, a foolproof way of how you can stop people from thieving in
here. If you can do that, I would be very, very interested.
Well, every meal that goes out of here goes out of one of those plastic containers. Yeah. The easiest way to do a stock take on the containers. How often do you stock take?
I'm actually going to be doing one at the end of this month.
So on a weekly basis you don't stock take?
On a weekly basis, no.
Could I suggest you need to? If you want a licence, you're going to have a lot more systems in place than what you've currently got.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, one thing you haven't done,
yes,
we need to sample the product to see if the end product is right. And he is a big eater, so he'll be able to tell.
Beautiful.
Here you go, Peter.
Oh, lovely stuff.
And there you go, Mike.
Michael's on the sweet. All right, let's try this. Do you want a bit of salt on it?
It's the size of yours.
Yeah, but you're on a diet, don't forget.
Yeah, I'll try it.
That lamb is cooked to perfection.
Are you going to eat any vegetables?
I always eat my meat first, Michael. Well, Michael, I wasn't that hungry, really.
It shows there's 4 peas left.
Your overall impression of the business?
Oh, I think she's got a good little business, Peter. From talking to Sarah, I think she struggles with delegation. She needs to systemise the business a little bit more so that when she's not there, somebody else has got control.
I think that we need to head back now because the flight's waiting for us.
Bev and Bert spent $60,000 on their comic subscription business, only to come unstuck. Peter and Mike found there is a good demand, and there are potential markets like schools and libraries. The problem is, the couple don't know enough about the comic business.
There's no question we didn't think you'd done your homework. And when we went out and done our research, we were convinced you never, you know. But the saving grace for you is that when we met Wayne Mills, he's really enthusiastic about comics and he believes in comics in schools.
You know, some of the numbers are phenomenal. Yeah, where they put them in the comics into school libraries, they had 30% more attendance in the libraries and 80% more increase in the number of books going out.
The teacher that took them off me when I was a kid should be shot. So, you know, it's how you develop.
Chance you'd be dead to be fair. We went to Gotham Comics yesterday. He's filling orders of $700-800 at a time into schools. Got heavy discounting programs going for them. Got a very successful comic business. Plus, he also does a collectible type range of comics. You know, we had one there yesterday that Peter wouldn't buy me. It was $750 or something.
$750 for one comic, and that was a cheap one. Please.
It wouldn't have hurt you to buy me that.
We didn't realise the comic business is as big as it is. The second thing is, you're not the only player in the market. Like when we come to see you, we got the impression that, you know, you're sort of the only player, but that's not the case.
You've got a lot of competition out there. Have you ever heard of a graphic novel?
Yes.
Well, that's what they're putting into the schools, which makes sense. You know, when we spoke to you about it, that, you know, a comic is flimsy, it's not great paper. A graphic novel is a bigger version, more robust, has a much bigger ticket average too, as well. That is the vehicle that you should be using to get into that market, because that's what your competition's doing.
But getting into graphic novels means buying more stock, or stacks of comics remain unsold. So it's a big call for Comic-aholics. Will they fight the odds and succeed, or will they fold? Down on the Coromandel, the macadamia nut family have really got cracking. As well as targets in place to double their sales, they've halved the product range, got cheaper new packaging, and have taken a cold hard dollars and cents look at all their business activities. Hamish tried his juice bar on the beach, but as Mike predicted, sales didn't cover the real cost.
We didn't get trading down at the beach here as early as we would have liked. The tourist numbers sort of didn't come through as I'd expected. No, we didn't reach our goal.
But while the pluggers pulled on the juice bar, other son Justin has found new business for the family's main concern, the macadamias.
Some good orders coming in, and of course doing the markets, fairs, food and wine festivals as well. So
they hit the popular Auckland food show.
Come in and try some of my 100% macadamia oil. Have you tried it before, ma'am? You haven't? Oh, it's your lucky day.
This time the focus is firmly where it belongs, on the range of macadamia products that they know will sell.
Not bad, eh? Not bad. Now you can try some of our lovely macadamia duckers. My brother, he's very good at communicating the benefits of our products to the public. We've got the chili kelp and lemon kelp mixes here, guys. This stuff is the goods.
The new disciplined approach seems to be paying off, and it has to. Dad, who's been paying for the mistakes so far, has decided to zip up his wallet.
Our next review date is 31 March, and at that stage we do need to be self-supporting from that point on.
Coming up, it's D-Day. Can the macadamia nut business finally sustain the family?
So the business is standing up on its own two legs, mate. You're not fronting up with any more money into it.
You're putting no more money in the business.
Peter helps Sarah cut the apron strings.
You've got to separate your heart from your thinking. You've got to think business.
And the comic book couple reach crisis.
We don't know which ones are going to sell. We don't know where we're going to sell them to. And we don't know how long they're going to be sitting on the shelves for.
Roast to Go is a big hit in Whangarei, and owner Sarah wants to expand. She's even talking about licensing her brand name, but she needs to get the right systems in place so she can manage the business and get out of the kitchen.
We think you're putting the cart before the horse a little bit, looking at licensing at this stage. We think you've got a bit of work to do on your present site, and licensing isn't as easy as you think. Look, there's a copy of our franchise agreement. That's the abbreviated copy, okay? To give you some idea. You need to have a look at that and get a few ideas.
The big thing that you've got to remember, it's your name that's going to be on the front of that shop. If they do something wrong, your whole business is going to be tarnished. Not just that one particular shop, your whole business. You need to have an agreement that's going to cover you and protect you for all of those things.
But first things first, get the existing shop running properly.
We'd like to see you implement some stock taking procedures, counting the containers and so forth. If you're going to grow the business or you're going to spend more time out of the business, you need to have these systems and processes in place. We need to get the shop streamlined from a point of view with staffing if you're going to be removed from the business. So, you make a good little income now with the business the way it is, but obviously your time is a big part of that. So when your time comes out of it, that business has to stand on its own, and if you put somebody else's wages for the amount of labour that you're doing yourself, it's going to dramatically affect our profit line.
And Peter's got an idea to bring in more roast eaters.
One of the things we thought about would be a radio campaign. We'd look at that, wouldn't we, Michael?
The increased income advertising brings will cover setup costs on the second store.
Now, the million-dollar question, because Michael wasn't sure about this. You want to go to Carmo.
The location that you're looking at, why do you want to go there?
There's actually some nice cafes are going in there. They've done the sidewalks, the pavement, and put in nice lights.
Nice cafes and nice lights. Do they equate to lots of roast meals?
Not necessarily. A lot of new businesses are going in there.
That doesn't mean to say it'd be good for you, though, Sarah, to be blunt.
No.
What you have to get into your head, in retail, it's position, 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 position. All the time position. Even we, with our brand, as strong as our brand is, we have gone into a couple of places where we knew the position wasn't that good, and to be fair, it hasn't been that fruitful for us, has it, Michael?
I do base some of it, I think, on, having grown up in Whangarei, spent most of my life there, and knowing the town.
Yeah, knowing the towns and knowing the areas, but...
You've got to separate your heart from your thinking. You've got to think business, If you don't make money, your shop will be closed, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you've got to make the hard calls,
And Mike's got the thinking man's approach to finding the perfect location.
Who comes into your shop? Do you have a key demographic of a person that comes into one of your roast shops?
I don't.
If you go to Statistics New Zealand, I think I've got my map here somewhere, you'll find there's the map area. It's divided into quadrants, okay? So all the census data is gathered up. You'll see there's Carmo up here, and there's a couple of grid areas that cover Carmo. What we need to do is look at the demographics that make up your area currently, and then try and compare them to what's up in Carmo. So we can say, well, how many households? What's the average income? How many people per household? Do they have cars? Do they not have cars? Do they go to school? And then we can use sort of some key graphics and data to say, is this the right place that we should be opening? Because it might be better off opening over here.
Proving once again the importance of doing your research. Libraries buy comics, schools buy comics. They encourage kids to read and improve comprehension. And some comics sell for ridiculous money. Peter and Mike did their research, which unfortunately is more than the Comic-aholic couple did. They spent 60 grand trying to sell comics by subscription, but didn't really know the business at all.
We've looked at the graphic novel side of things as well, and just one shop in Auckland stocks 900 different titles of graphic novel. We don't know which ones are going to sell. We don't know where we're going to sell them to, and we don't know how long they're going to be sitting on the shelves for. So we said, no, stop.
What's the point of being in business if you're not making money? It's not worth the stress.
I think we've made up our minds to say, look, this is not going to happen.
It's time to pull the plug. Quite frankly, I wouldn't care if I never saw another comic in my life.
Comic-aholic is a dead duck.
It wasn't about the comics at all for me. It was about how good I could get it running a business. And unfortunately, I've just discovered I'm not very good at it.
We really, really thought that the comic business was going to help us survive. And we based some of our decisions on our house based on that. And we said, look, if we're going to get an income off the business, then we can afford to do a little bit more.
We really can't afford the mortgage anymore, so we'll move on and start again.
No, we don't want to move. We love this house. It's turned out so much better than I actually envisaged that it would.
So sadly, Bev and Bert haven't just lost their business, they've had to sell their new home as well.
Good morning, Whangarei. Yes, it's your old mate, the Mad Butcher, coming to you live from the Radio Network studio here in beautiful, sunny Whangarei. My special guest today is Sarah from the Roast to Go company. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
In the other corner, Mad Dog Madden.
With the help of the Mad Butcher's dulcet tones, Sarah and Roast to Go have hit the airwaves.
Roast to Go have takeaway hot roast meals for lunch and dinner. 26 Water Street, Whangarei.
The tills are ringing, and Sarah's used the increased turnover to hire more staff, freeing her up to put in systems and actually manage the business. She also has new scales so the servings can be standardised.
You can put the tray of the food on, and when you press that button, the meat then goes on. And isn't that delicious?
The new container system allows Sarah to match food going out to money in the till, and now she stock takes every week.
From now on, these dishes will be used for meals only.
She's done her homework on her existing customer demographics and targeted an area. In fact, thanks to Peter and Mike, Sarah is well on her way to a successful second Roast to Go store. A new wind has blown through Cathedral Cove Macadamias. It's called Hurricane Mike. He told Dad Brian to stop bankrolling the company and make it stand on its own feet. So the family got to work and cut down their products to a profit-making range. They set new sales targets and got selling. And 8 months further on, how are they going?
We've had a really busy start to the summer, some good orders coming in. We've been earning some money, mate, which has been good.
Our finances are looking a lot better now than when we first met. We are budgeting much more seriously than we did previously.
Now our next phase is to sort of ramp up using the website and make our website more user-friendly and really directed at selling rather than being an online brochure. Then I think we can really lift those sales. Yeah, more sales would be better, but we've got a quality product and it's just basically getting out there and getting it into different places.
I feel very, very confident that we have turned things around and that we're on the right track.
But are they on the right track? Peter and Mike are back to interrogate the man who is bankrolling the business.
Ryan, we need to see you, mate. Put these down. Give us those clippers, mate. Give us those.
Come on, mate.
Buddy, what's your name?
Parker.
Parker, how would you like to be the Mad Butcher chauffeur?
Yeah, okay.
You'll have to tidy yourself up. Come with me.
You've reduced the pack size as we talked about. You've increased the margins on all the products, so well done, congratulations. I'm happy with the margins that are coming through on all the packs. You're not putting any money into the business now, it's sustaining itself.
It is.
You are not putting any money into the business?
Nothing.
Okay, well that's good.
That's well done.
Well done. Congratulations. I mean, that's come a long way from where you were, so that's good.
It has, yep. And we control that bank balance, sort of daily. So, and everybody knows how that's tracking through.
So that's to be commended, because I think previously it was like Dad's putting some money into the business so we can keep having cracks of things. It doesn't really matter if it's commercially not viable.
You know, you guys were pretty tough on us last time. It was good, hard stuff. But I think we've moved from that loss-making situation to a break-even.
Yep.
We understand quite clearly that the next step is to get an earn out of it for all of us.
Just time for a final rally of the troops. And who better?
Sales, sales, sales. Is there anything you don't understand? No, Mad Butcher. Good boy. We want to see your marketing producing some sales. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Good boy. I want you to keep an eye on them all and keep up that wonderful cooking, my little Rose. And you, Brian, are the captain of the troops. I want you to lead from the front. You understand that, Brian?
Yes, sir.
And you boys, pull your fingers out. Says all later.
Okay.
Bye. Bye. Well, Michael, this TV life ain't so bad after all, is it? We're not here for that. We're here for Comic-aholics. Beverly, we're in the hub of it. This is the... Oh, no, start again. I wasn't happy. Now you've upset me now. Michael, leave it on. Leave it on.
No, you're not tough now, mate, are you? Hey, take that on the ghoulies, mate. Well, why is he not in the car with us?
Because I don't like him that much. Well, here we are, right amongst the Macadamias. This is going to be a hard nut to crack.